So first of all, the first thing I did was I did a bunch of research. So I was looking at other people's content, other creators' content, and like trying to figure out, okay, what resonates with me? What can I see myself doing? And what do I believe will suit my style of making things? Because not everything is going to be for everyone. Like, let's say these character reels is not going to be for everyone, but I really enjoy making them. That was the first thing I did. And I took like a day to do so. I did a lot of research. And then I took a second day to just create a shitloads of reels and just let the creativity flowing. I usually don't have an issue with coming up with ideas. Like I have too many ideas, I can't implement them all. And also have some ideas where I can't even make because it's just too complicated. I don't have all the tools. But anyways, the last post I posted before I stopped being inactive on this account. And if you look at the engagement here, and then you look at it here, when I started to post again, it's not as good. And that is in general kind of like expected when you take a break from your account. Basically what I did, I recorded a bunch of reels, and these are some of them. I didn't post all of them. I just posted some of them, and I kind of like see where, what's the feedback, and by feedback, I'm meaning what's the reach, what's the engagement I got on them, etc. And if you can see here also, it looks quite messy. There's different styles, blah, 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 blah. And what I did, I posted like twice a day or something to just like get the feedback out there quickly, or get the stuff out there so I can get the feedback quickly. So I posted 2 posts a day, analyzed it, and I was like, this is not like where I want it to be. I can do better than that. So after I had this like creative bubble where I'm just creating a bunch of reels, I really recommend you doing that to kind of like find your style and find what you want to do. If you don't do that, it's going to be very, very difficult to discover what works for you. So what I did, well, actually, before I tell you that, here I'm kind of like doing a little behind the scenes tips, and then these kind of videos where like 3 tips, blah, 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 are so common in my industry. So I was like, I want to do something else, and I'm not really feeling it. I think these videos they can be really helpful when I watch other creators, but for me, I find them to be a little boring to make. They lack the creativity, it's just, I don't know. I wanted to create something that is a bit more visual, so it's more entertaining in a way to watch, so more visual, and also the audio is important. So similar to what I'm doing on this account, which is very visual, very, very visual. So I wanted to implement that somehow in this kind of content, and where I'm talking, I'm usually doing my character reels. So yeah, after my little creative bubble here I decided to like, okay, now I'm going to narrow down my focus and decide what kind of content will I be focusing on. So there is the character reels, as I mentioned. So I have the character reels, and then also I'm going to be sharing some tips like these ones, and like this one for transition ideas, like doing like that, very visual, and then match it with the audio, so it's like kind of like sits nice together. Same with this is like a tip about how you can improve the light, blah, 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 when you're recording. And this is also a tip about light. And then I have my character reels, and then the third one, which you can't really see here, but it's kind of like similar to this style, but obviously I'm going to work on improving it, is kind of having like glimpses of my life and do like a storytelling over it. So that's another reel style I'm going to be implementing in my content. So those are the 3 main styles I'm going to be making for the account for my reels. After I posted twice a day, got the content out there, I was like, I can improve this. And if we go to the reels tab, we can look at, if you look at the views on this account, from this. Okay, so this was the first one I did, which did a little better than the other ones. But the views are all not where I want them to be. The engagement is not where I wanted them to be. So I was like, okay, let's improve things. And that's when I did like niche things down and such. And then we look from here, it's starting to increase. That one is I posted this morning, so it'll probably pick up a bit more in a couple of days. Reels is kind of different that way compared to post, that the engagement usually picks up over time, whereas in post it kind of dies quite quickly. So if you can see, look at the views here, they're much better than down here. And you can also see that this content is way more cohesive than this. Looks very more messy. It's just like really, you don't really get a grasp of it in the same way as you get with this. It's very like more pleasant to watch and more easier to consume it. So as you can see, I've kind of like branded it more. So I have this same shirt on in the video, so I made that my kind of like my real shirt that I'll be wearing. And also the text, the colors, and what I do with the text, etc. But it's branded, and that goes with my carousel post as well. Now I wanted to mention one extra point that is actually not about the reel strategy, but you can see, like, look at the engagement of the carousel posts. It's a lot lower. That one has quite a lot of comments, which is nice, but the engagement is a lot lower than on Reels. And that is what I have found is usually it's a lot harder. I'm not going to say this applies to everyone. There's always exceptions, but in general, it's harder to get good engagement and especially and also reach on your regular posts. It's easier to get good reach and engagement with your Reels than with your regular posts. And that's something I noticed on this account as well. So if I don't post Reels, my engagement goes down a lot, and like people don't really interact with it. And it also because I've trained my audience that this is the type of content I'm posting. So if you're posting too many different things, you're going to confuse the audience and they're not going to get a grasp of what you're actually doing, what your account is about. You want to find that one format that works really, really well, and then you double down on that and you continue with that, posting that. That's exactly what I did with this account. Well, so my first reel I posted was this one, which performed really, really well. So I kind of like found something with my first post. I didn't just double down on that instantly. I still wanted to kind of like try things and see, okay, try different things and kind of like find my way. Also, what kind of content do I want to be making? Also shared some pictures and stuff. But then eventually I was like, okay, I'm just going to double down on this style where I'm just like the process of me making stuff. So I did that. And then I had my first mega viral reel, which is this one with like 6.8 million views, and that was when my account just exploded. And then I continued posting about me making things, and then I have a few like tips videos. That was as you can see, this is a carousel post. Look at the engagement. This reel didn't perform that well, but still has a lot more engagement than my carousel post that was also not performing well. So yeah, so you can just see there's a huge difference in posts and reels in general, and that's going to be the case for a lot of people. But it also comes down to what are you good at, what is your strength. So some people are going to do better perhaps with the carousel post because they're just better at making them, and some people are going to do better with reels because it comes more natural, you know, they're better at making them. But with that said, I don't want you to let that hinder you from trying things. You need to try things and you need to learn how to be. If you scroll down on this page and look at my content down here, it's just really shit. It's like really bad and it's all over the place and just really, really messy. And I remember when I started doing this, it was really out of my comfort zone. It took a lot for me to start in this niche, which is like more marketing. Always been very interested in business, entrepreneurship and all that, but I've always been so extremely comfortable in this area, the creative space, or, you know, I just make things, always been making things and love music, drawing and stuff like that. So going into this space was really scary and very comfortable. I had to show sites to the public, which I'd never really done before. And that took a lot of time and effort to get over, but I didn't give up. I kept pushing and eventually, and now I'm feeling pretty confident when I'm feeling confidence because I put myself out there. So you've got to take action to get confident. It won't just happen one day. You've got to take action. So that's basically the strategy I used to very quickly improve my reel and quadrupled my engagement and reach in just 3 days, which is quite nice. So now I'm going to batch a bit more, a bunch of more content, and we're going to see where it ends up, and then I'm going to be adjusting from there. I'm really analyzing and taking a close look at my content. So it's not like I'm posting and I'm kind of like, no, I'm really taking the feedback, listening to the feedback, and I'm improving, constantly improving. You've got to do that. If you're not improving your content, it's going to be very difficult. What most people do wrong is they continue posting this. One thing I've noticed that if something works really well, if you have something that works, you're going to get response from that instantly. You're going to get instant response. So if you see that, okay, what I'm posting, it's not really working for me, improve what you're doing, improve. And sometimes it can be little tweaks that makes a huge difference, and I'm going to show you that. These two videos, they're the exact same video, but what is different is the way I edit the video. So look at the engagement on this one. This is the first video, and it didn't perform that well, and not as well as these type of video normally do. So I was like really analyzing, okay, what did I do differently here? Why didn't this video perform as well as my other videos? And what I found is that this is slower. The editing is so much slower. So what did I do? Re-edited the video, posted it again, and look at this. This one's a lot faster, much more engaging to watch. You don't lose that attention as easily as you did in the other video. It's too slow, too boring, people are going to scroll. So this one, as you can see, got a lot more engagement on it, and that's just a single little tweak, just a little tweak by changing the editing, the exact same clips, everything, speeding it up, and it performed so much better. So it could be tiny things like that. So really analyze and study your content and see how can I improve it. That is my best tip for you, because good content will attract. If you're struggling with Reels, then drop your struggles in the comments and I will make another video where I explain how to get out of that struggle. See you in the next one.